The market is bleeding. And every time this happens, the same thing follows. People stop tweeting, communities go quiet, marketing budgets get paused. And suddenly, everyone is asking the same question: should we still be marketing right now? My answer is simple. If your marketing only worked when the market was green, then it never really worked in the first place. Welcome back to Web3 Quick Bites. I'm your host, Olabisi. Today's conversation, it's not about price, neither is it about charts, and it's definitely not about telling you to buy the dip. This is about what down market reveal, especially about marketing, growth, and how most Web3 projects misunderstand both. This episode will still make sense years from now because circles change, but behavior does not. To kickstart this episode, I would like us to start with what bull markets actually do. One thing you should know is bull markets are forgiving. They are forgiving because they forgive weak positioning, confusing messaging, shallow communities, products people don't fully understand. And you ask yourself, why is that? I will tell you, it's because money is flowing. When liquidity is high, attention is cheap. People try things they do not understand. They join communities they don't care about. They hold tokens they can't explain. In those moments, almost anything looks like traction. And that is where the confusion starts. For most teams, they mistake this activity for belief, for community belief in their project. I hope that resonates with someone who is listening to this. I will say that again. That is where confusion starts because during the bull market, almost anything looks like traction. And for most marketing teams, they tend to confuse that high activity, that consistent activity for belief. Now that I've explained that, let's move on to what changes when the market turns, like what we are going through right now. What changes? I already explained how bull markets is very forgiving. So let's talk about what really changes when the market switches to the bear market. Bear market doesn't change people, contrary to public opinion or to what people might think. Bear market doesn't change people. What it does is it reveals them. You see, when prices drop, users are asking different questions. They're asking themselves, why am I here? What does this actually do? Do I even trust this team? Wait, is this still useful without incentives? And this is where most projects panic. Why do they panic, you ask? It is because their marketing was built for excitement and not understanding. They knew how to attract their attention. They are very good at that. But where the problem lies is they didn't know how to keep the conviction. Now you see where the problem is coming from, where the problem stems from. And right now, marketing feels really hard. It feels hard right now in the beer market. And why that is, it is because the shortcuts, they've all stopped working. The incentives doesn't hit the same. Noise does not convert. And users, they are more intentional with their time, with their money. They are more intentional about projects they're investing in. This is the moment where community managers have that light bulb moment and they realize that, oh, we're running campaigns and not communities. Growth teams, they realize they optimized for clicks and not retention. And founders realize that, wait, we've actually never clearly explained why our product matters. So are you seeing that this is not a market problem? No, it doesn't matter if this is a bull or bear market. It is a clarity problem. And that is one thing I keep saying. We need to always have clarity behind every project. We need to. We always, it should be very, very important. It should be how would I put it? A rule that is inscripted on should I say on a stone or something, on blockchain technology or whatever, that we always need to have clarity. It's not always about the market. See, if you have a bad product and people are not getting enough clarity on what you're building, it doesn't matter if it's the bull or bear market, they are still going to have the clarity problem is still going to rear its ugly head. And as a marketer or as a founder, you should always know the difference between attention and trust. See, attention is easy in a bull market. It is super easy. It's the easiest thing ever. Trust is not. Trust is built when one, you show up consistently. Two, your messaging stays steady even when your numbers drop. Three, you keep educating instead of disappearing. And four, you talk to users like adults and you're not seeing them as your exit liquidity. Projects, I repeat, projects that survives bull markets, projects that survive bear markets are not louder. Hmm? They are only clearer because they know who they are for, they know what problem they solve, and why they should even exist, why they should exist even without hype. That is what we call marketing, my dear friends. Not campaigns, not announcements, and neither is it incentives. Right now, some of the smart teams that I know, what they are doing right now in these bleeding markets is that first, they are talking to users. They're asking one-on-one questions. They're putting out surveys just to understand what people really want, what people need, what they want, the change they want, if they need more clarity on their projects, if they need more clarity on what they're building. They are talking to people, they're having conversations. They are not broadcasting, neither are they selling. They are listening. Listening is the key word here. Listening. And secondly, they are tightening their story. They are not shipping new features or adding new features. What they are doing is they're explaining the ones they already have. They are doing a good job of explaining it and doing a better and amazing job at explaining it. Third, they are staying visible. And I'm not saying everywhere because you're going to burn out quickly, except you have a huge team. So what they're doing is they are staying visible. And not everywhere, like I said, just consistently in the places that matter, where their audience are. That is where they are being consistent. And these smart teams, what they understand is, and which is quite important, is that they know when the market is loud, being heard, being heard is hard. When the market is quiet, being understood is rare. So, if you are a founder, a marketer, or a builder, and you're listening to this, don't ask, should we still be marketing? No. Ask yourself, does our marketing still make sense without hype? Because bull markets hide bad marketing, bear markets expose it. And what survives exposure is usually what is worth building. I will take that again. Bull markets hide bad marketing. Bear markets expose it. And what survives exposure is usually what building. This is Web3 Quick Bites. I'll see you in the next episode.